Review of Code of Practice for Reduction of Aflatoxin B1 in raw materials and supplemental feeding stuffs for milk-producing animals. As a quick summary on the background, in 2019, CCF18 established the EWG. There was an approach for revision of existing Codex standard developed by CCF. In 2021, CCF14 established Codex Standard Monitoring List, and there was a priority for the criteria recommended in the revision for the existing standard, and the implementation of the approach for a 3-year trial for the standard codex. In 2022, CCF15 maintained without establishing new priorities monitoring lists A and B, and created a global list of the highest priority codex standards and related text relating to contaminants and foods and feed. In 2023, CCF16 created work electronic group to develop working document on the revision of code practices for the reduction of aflatoxin B1 in raw material and feed for dietary and milk-producing animals. In 2024, agreement to re-establish the EWG, chaired by Canada. Back then, there were 4 points. The outcomes of CCF17, revising the discussion paper, proposing revisions to CXC 45, considering how other related codex COPs of practice could be integrated or merged to avoid overlap, inconsistencies, and redundancies. Finally, there was preparation for a project document for new work. For CCF18, in CCF18, this year, 2025, EWG will invite CCF to consider initiating a revision of the Code of Practice for the reduction of aflatoxin B1. If agreed upon by CCF, there will be 4 items. First, review and adjust project document for submission to CAC 48. Then assess the proposed outline. Especially, we need integration with related codex code to avoid overlaps, and appropriateness of revisions and availability of supporting data. Third, consider issuing a CL letter to gather all risk management practices and data. Re-establish the EWG to further develop the code for review at CCF 19. Analysis of Codex documents and standards for Arab region. The points here in the analysis, how general consensus, there was a consensus, overall agreement also, support for revision of EWG, support revising due to a significant amount review and updated information. There was, the last drafting was, there is emerging to have a revision, the practical guidelines. We need the COP more accurate and more comprehensive in regard to all aflatoxin B1, whether in the food or feed. For alignment with other codex text, as we mentioned in the last slide, we need to have updated code of practice and the relevant measures. For relevant measures, there are measures in the CXC 51 applicable to non-cereal crops shall be incorporated along with the new related guidelines section. Listen relevant codex text. Concerns about document length. Some members commented on the lengthiness of the revised COP. Recommended internal streaming while possible. Streamlining and redundancy. Efforts will continue to reduce redundancy. In regard to more data, we need more data and participation. We recommended to have a CL letter requesting additional aflatoxin management information whenever necessary. The key considerations for Arab countries. Arab countries have strong reasons to engage in the proposed revision of Codex 45 due to their climatic, agricultural, and food safety realities. As in the region is characterized by semi-arid or humid climates, which make crops and feed more susceptible to aflatoxin B1, a major concern for public health and trade. Additionally, many Arab countries have growing dairy and livestock sectors. If there is aflatoxin B1 or the feeds for milk product animals, that will be a problem. That will affect milk safety and consumer health. That's why Arab countries will provide support for EWG proposal. The revised COP presents an opportunity to shape international guidance. 4 recommendations to the 18th session of the CCF. Delegates may agree to EWG proposal for review and update of Code of Practice. We will continue exploring different possibilities to update documents. CXC 45. Other considerations? Participate to review upcoming SCL letters, to gather data, any other guidelines additional, promote regional coordination, support implementation of code practice locally, and strengthen national surveillance and regulatory systems. Thank you very much.